y'all, it's Miss Burke. We made it to Thursday. Today's math lesson is on page 349, numbers 1 through 16. It looks like this, fun with temperatures. I sent you a picture in our group me of it. We're going to do number 1 through 16, so the whole page. All right, this very first section at the top says read the thermometers. Write the correct temperatures in the blanks. So all you have to do is read the thermometer and write the temperature that it shows in the blank. Now, pay attention to whether it's a negative or a positive number. Two of them will have negative temperatures, okay? So that's easy up at the top. The second section says, convert these Celsius temperatures to Fahrenheit. Convert to the nearest whole degree, okay? So numbers 5 through 10, we're going to use this formula right here. Fahrenheit equals 9/5 Celsius plus 32. On all of the ones on 5 through 10, this is the formula that you use. Okay, I'm going to work two of them for you. So number 5 says 30 degrees Celsius equals what degree Fahrenheit? Okay, so we plug that 30 in where the C is. We have 9/5. If they're side by side, it means they're being multiplied. Plus 32. Okay? If you remember our order of operations that we've been going over this week, you know we have to multiply before we add. Okay? So when we multiply this right here, 9/5 times 30, 30 has to be a fraction. So to make it a fraction, all we have to do is put a 1 underneath it. Okay? Then we multiply straight across. So 9 times 30 is 270. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, we divide before we add. Okay? So I say 270 divided by 5. 5 will go into 27 5 times. With 2 left over. 5 will go into 24 times with no remainder. So now I have 54 plus, don't forget your plus 32 up here. So my answer is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I didn't have to round this one because it came out to be a whole number, but if it doesn't, remember just round it to the nearest whole degree. Okay, and just like I told you last week, Fahrenheit will always be more than Celsius. Okay, so that's one way to check and make sure you're using the right formula and doing it correctly. Fahrenheit will be more. Okay, we're still using the same formula. I'm going to work number 6 for you too. It's 75 degrees Celsius equals what degrees Fahrenheit? So I say 9/5 times, I plug in that 75 plus 32. Now, we know I have to multiply before I can add. So to multiply these two numbers, I have to make this a fraction. So I just put it over a 1. Now I'll multiply straight across. I do not know 75 times 9 off the top of my head, so let me go over here and work it. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 4, 67. So I have 675 over 5 times 1 is just 5. I still have my plus 32. Now I know I have to divide. This is an improper fraction, so I have to divide before I can add. I also don't know that off the top of my head, so let me go over here and work it. 675 divided by 5. 5 will go into 6 one time, with 1 left over. It'll go into 17 3 times, with 2 left over. And it will go into 25 5 times, with no remainder. Okay, so I have oh, no, that's not right. I almost skipped a step. 135 degrees plus 32. I was just telling y'all not to forget to add, and I almost did. So I have 167 degrees. Let me see if I can fix that. 167 degrees Fahrenheit. My Fahrenheit is more than my Celsius. That's a good way to check and make sure I did it correctly. All right, moving on to the bottom section, 11 through 16. I use this formula now instead of the other one. Okay, Celsius equals 5/9 times F minus 32. All right, number 11 says 59 degrees Fahrenheit equals what degrees Celsius? So I have 5/9 times, I plug in 59 minus 32. Now we know from our order of operations that parentheses comes first. So the first thing I do is what's inside the parentheses right here. So 59 minus 32 is 27. Now 5/9 is right on the outside, and if they're right beside each other, that means that they are multiplied. Okay? If I'm going to multiply this, I have to make this a fraction by putting a 1 under it. Now you can reduce. I'm just going to multiply straight across. 27 times 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. I have 135. 9 times 1 is 9. So now I have to divide. 9 into 13 one time. 9 into 45. So I do not have a remainder. My answer is 15 degrees Celsius. Now my Fahrenheit is more than Celsius, so that helps me make sure that I did it the correct way and I used the right formula. All right, I'm gonna work number 12 for you too. 86 degrees Fahrenheit is what degrees Celsius? Okay, so I plug it in. 5/9 times 86 minus 32. We know from our order of operations, parentheses comes first. So I say 86 minus 32, and I get 54. Now, if they're side by side, it means they're being multiplied. So I have to make that a fraction and put a 1 under it. Now, you could reduce this here, but I'm just going to multiply straight across. So I do 54 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 270. 9 times 1 is 9. So I have an improper fraction. Now I have to divide. 270 goes on the inside. 9 goes on the outside. 9 will go into 27 3 times. Nope. 9 will go into 0 times. Now this is where it gets important. Some of you have a bad habit of doing the 3, and then when you get 0 down here, you stop. But you can't forget to bring down that 0 because you have 2 spots to fill. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention when you divide. Some of you make some careless errors like that. And you know 9 times 3 isn't 27, but some of y'all put that anyway. So my answer is 30 degrees Celsius. My Fahrenheit is more, so I know that I used the correct formula and worked it correctly. All right, now you have, let's see, you have to work all 4 of these. You have to work 4 on this section and 4 on this section. I've worked some of them for you, If you have any questions, message me or call me or email me, whatever you need to do, and I'll help you. This is for a daily grade, so when you're done with it, send me a picture of it. This will be due by midnight Friday.